This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non-public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies. And this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance.
Hey guys, it's me, and Papa, and you're watching my weekly live stream. Everything looks and sounds like it's working, but if not, let me know in the chat. So, a little bit of a quiet week, and probably the most ridiculous market that I've seen in a while. I've actually spent a lot of time thinking about the current market structure and where we are compared to years past. And I'm still a crypto newbie. I'm not like a super OG that's been trading crypto since 2014 or 2011. I jumped in late 2017, but I was here and I've been here ever since. What I've seen on the chart for Bitcoin recently feels really similar to two different times back in 2018 and 2019. And I want to talk about that more, but I just need to say welcome, hello, and I totally forgot to put on the chat so I can actually see it. There we go. Good. So, hello. Yes, we are going to do that. I'm going to be looking at a chart someone was asking for in a comment for 0x. We're going to look at that. I'm going to be talking about Ethereum a little bit. But if you're new to this and you want to know, wait, what's happening? How did I just stumble into this amazing live stream? I know. You're not the first person to say that. Thank you. So here on YouTube, I have live streams every single week at this time, my Thursday, 11 a.m. Japan Standard Time. Yes, I live in Tokyo. So this means that it's 10 p.m. Wednesday nights, New York, Miami time, which is Eastern Standard Time, or it's 7 p.m. LA or Seattle, which is Pacific Standard Time in North America. If you are in Europe watching this, you're amazing. If you're in Eastern Asia, like I am, then good morning to you. Or Australia. Australia is only a couple of hours behind me, I believe. So depending on, I guess, where you are in the country. I've published a lot of videos recently, mainly with a lot of this bearish nature in it, which makes sense because that's the market that we're in right now. I have a ton of content that's here. I'm pretty sure you all know this, but if not, and you know people that are still holding crypto and they don't know what to do, I mean, even the free content that I have, there's a ton of stuff that I have here on YouTube. It's nuts. So what I want to talk about again is this weird feeling that I'm getting from Bitcoin. So this week, there's another FOMC meeting. So the Fed is going to talk about what they're going to be, what they think the inflation is and the numbers and all that fun stuff. So that's supposed to be on Friday. There's also some other weird stuff happening. Lots of weird stuff, to be honest, but that's normal for crypto, isn't it? There's like this weird doxing tweet. I'd have to find it. I didn't prepare it because I didn't think I would mention it, but I just find it so fascinating. There are just too many weird things happening in the market that I get a lot of just weird vibes from, both bullish and bearish. So let's first talk about the weird stuff. So for one, even though the Fed has a meeting this week, when I look at the S&P 500, I'm not feeling bearish at all. Not in the least. If I pull it up over here on TradingView, let's go over. Oh, I don't want to open that up because it's going to mess with it. Let's do this one. So first off, I see two closed shorts on the daily for the TBO. Even though it says TBO Pro, I'm using the standard default settings for this, so nothing fancy, nothing special. The fact that I see these is just really interesting to me. I'll feel even better when I see it on the weekly time frame. I don't see that just yet. And this is the wrong chart. This isn't the chart that I normally use, but it's okay. But seeing these on the daily time frame so close together, these mean that the bearish downtrend could be ending soon. So we did have that before. We had a little bit of a relief rally. The S&P moved up 5% before falling again. So maybe we could see another relief rally, but it doesn't look or feel the same as the previous one. I think a lot of the American trading world is waiting on the Fed to figure out what's going to happen next. But the interesting thing I want to point out is that when we've seen a drop and we see these print, these close shorts, the market tends to rally, especially when we get two of those together. So, and here's another one. There's one, and here's one where we have another drop down, but again, same concept, same idea. So that to me is weird, where it feels like we should be bearish, but it doesn't seem bearish to me. We also get lots of conflicting reports from the United States government saying that we are in the best financial shape ever. How do people, why would anyone want to run for office? That's my question. Why would anyone want to be in that situation? Because you don't get to say the truth, apparently, ever. So I'm just getting lots of mixed signals. I'm hearing about people, especially people in high finance, saying that this is the worst it's ever been and it's only going to get worse. That to me is a flag, a green flag, to be honest. Whenever I hear people like Jamie Dimon, people like, I almost said Buffett, I almost said Hawkins. I've been watching Stranger Things 4, sorry, so my mind is like stuck in Hawkins, sorry. Really good, by the way. So when I see comments about the bearishness of the market, it's only going to get worse, part of me is like, wait, shouldn't I be thinking that's the opposite of what could happen next? Because think about when the market was super overheated in November 2021 for BTC. I mean, people were saying, even me, I have no problem admitting it, people like me saying, well, 100K is next. That's what we're going to be setting up for. It's going to be moving up higher and higher, and everyone is super pumped, especially on this last leg up in the fall of 2021. And then it fell. So there's something to be said for contrarianism, meaning that you're going against what everyone else is thinking and feeling, especially talking heads. So to me, it's just really weird. So that's a mixed bag right now. I know. I've been sharing lots of my thoughts on this in the Better Traders Club, which I don't feel comfortable sharing right now. I'll share it in a week or two, maybe, but I want to give them time to digest that information, because that's what they're getting in the club. And if it's something that you're interested in, here on thebettertraders.com, you go to club, there's a ton of stuff like the DCA backtester, which is new. There's also the stop loss hunting tool. There's the TBT forecaster. There are the TBD signals. There's just the community aspect of it. TBT forecaster. There's a ton of stuff. It's a great place, and it's awesome to see the community coming together. So when I think about everything that I'm seeing and feeling, I'm also getting mixed signals, like I said. So this Twitter post that I'm talking about was posted 2 days ago. Really weird, really weird post. So this could be a hoax, definitely could be, but apparently this person is dying. And they have all of this basically blackmail, all this data that was downloaded from Telegram because of an exploit. And they have all this information about, well, like it says, it will likely tear a rift in the entire community while I'm at it and on my way out. Meaning that he's going to be burning a lot of bridges. So it's weird, but there's a lot of stuff that happened that he says in this message, or she says, or whatever. But this is what's just like, if this is real, many of the individuals or projects I name will not survive this, either due to public backlash, financial fraud, or other obscure reasons such as embarrassment. So it's all really interesting that it's happening. So I am actually marking my calendar for the 15th and the 30th this month to see if this stuff will actually be distributed and be legitimate. There's part of me that thinks it's just a hoax, but it's very weird. Really weird. So I thinking about time frame, thinking about the market, and if this is legit information that could torch the market, this all plays out within the time frame that I have plotted out when I think we're going to bottom out, which is weird. They're just appeasing me apparently, and it's not me. I'm not a dying nobody. But going back to TradingView, just to reiterate, and I'm going to go to my other chart that has all of my drawings to show you because I've shared it before. So my guess is that next week is when we're going to hit our bottom. I know, ridiculous, but I think next week, as far as this goes, when I look at previous market cycles and we're looking at this formula of 2 close longs, cross down, open short. So when we look back and we backtest this, 2 close longs, cross down, open short, it took 126 days for Bitcoin to bottom out before it capitulated. Over here, it took same thing. We don't have the close longs, but we have cross down, open short. It took 98 days or 14 weeks for Bitcoin to bottom out. So looking at 98 days, which 98 days are 126 days. If we're looking at that time frame, I've modified this chart just by adding this. That means that we could be seeing the bottom next week. Maybe. It's weird, very weird. Or in 126 days, which puts us another month out. And I'm just going off of what's happened in the past, these past 2 cycles. So it could be wrong. It could mean that it's going to happen a lot later, but I'm really interested to see if this is going to play out. Because if it does, we basically have a treasure map to know exactly when the market's done and when it's going to start up again. So I am expecting the TBO to hold to this. So next week could be the bottom. If it's not next week, it could be within the next 30 days. So really weird. Lots of weird stuff today, right? So if we were to fall, my professional, as an unprofessional opinion, is 20K is the bottom. That to me is the bottom. That makes the most sense. And I said at the beginning of the live stream that I got some weird vibes from 2018 and 2019. I'll get to that in a second, but I want to just reiterate that I still expect us to bottom out next week or maybe in a month. I know this goes against CPI data. This goes against the Fed. This goes against a hawkish Fed. This goes against recession and basically a depression that we're in right now. I know. But I want to just reiterate this again in a way that helps you to understand that what I'm saying is that I'm expecting us to hit the bottom or bottom out within a week or a month. That doesn't mean that we're going to go boom and V-shaped correction off to $1 million. That's not what I'm saying. If we look at previous bear markets, it still took weeks for the price to recover. That whole concept of capitulation. And I've been talking about this video for a while, and it's worth rewatching this idea of this 20K Bitcoin capitulation video. This one right here. I highly recommend watching this just because everything I'm saying, I'm going to say it in way more detail in this video, okay? So the truth is that it takes about 98, or it has taken about 98 to 126 days to bottom out. But look, once we bottom out, it takes about how many weeks? It takes 20 weeks for us to basically reach where we were before. So that means we're going to spend 20 weeks just going sideways. A majority of it's going to be going sideways. Like after we did this, it was just going sideways for 16 weeks until it just shot up in April. If we go back to 2014, this is a much more dire situation. Let me hide some drawings so we can see more clearly. So we capitulate here. This one, we're actually going sideways for a whole lot longer, 41 bars, 41 weeks, basically an entire year before the price moved up. So based on that 41 weeks, and over here, we're looking at 22 or 20 weeks, then I would go along with the thinking that, and let's put this all back up. I know this is like projecting way far out, but let's just go ahead and entertain me for a minute, okay? So if we bottom out, we really hit it, then that means we're looking at 20 weeks before we reach our our base, we'll call it. So it could be here at 30K, it could be up here at 40K. So 20 weeks would put us at October to hit 30 or 40K. And if it's going to be half of that, which I doubt, but diminishing returns have been really interesting. That would mean 10 weeks, which would be August. So that would be a really quick drop. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense personally. I think it makes way more sense to expect us to have bottomed out here, and then we wait 20 weeks to come back up. Because I have heard a lot of other crypto YouTubers like Ben Cohen, who else, and Gareth Soloway talking about a recovery later this year. Not new all-time highs, but at least a recovery in price action. So bottoming out in a week to a month makes sense logistically based on what we're seeing on the TBO, and then taking about 20 weeks or so for us to come back up to this previous trading range, which is between 30 and 40K, makes a whole lot of sense. So again, this isn't actually terrible news. Where we are right now, it's a 30% drop. I think we could handle that, especially if we know it's the last one, hopefully, barring a black swan event. Okay, so I'm going too far in my mind to a place that you don't want to be anymore, because I'm just kind of going meandering. So let me go back to what I'm talking about. So when I look at this price action right here, and let me get my bars pattern. Okay, so when I see this, it's just so weird. Can we be honest? This is like the most garbage trading zone ever. It's ridiculous. This is unnatural. This is pure accumulation. And I know you might hear people say the market's being manipulated. Duh. I mean, I could have told you that 2-3 years ago, and I probably have. But this is different. This is actually accumulation, where there's buying and there's selling and there's price suppression. I see this all the time with A/B trading charts. So there is a lot of suppression in this area where we're just in this weird boxed range, right? I would say 13% is really generous. We're more like in a 7% range. For Bitcoin, over 30 days is weird. Let's compare this to summer 2021. We're going to have to go back. There we go. So summer 2021, let me hide everything. Good. So when we look at the price action here for summer, this was some wild price action. That's a 36% move compared to 7%, which looks like this. This is 63 days, but still really weird. So why am I saying this? Well, I'm saying this because, actually, let me just go back in time. It's a lot faster. We're going to do this 2018, November 1st. Great. So what I'm feeling and seeing right now is this. We are at this weird spot where, to me, 30K is the new 6K. And I hate saying that because I know what happens next. But this range too, was a big move of 40%. But then you can see the range started to get really, really, really tight in this area. How tight? About 9% for 2 months. There's a scam wick, and then the bottom fell out from under us, and then we fell. How far did we fall? We fell 48%. Now, I don't think we're in that situation right now. I think the bottom's a lot closer than 48% down, personally, but it could fall. Another place where it feels really similar right now, and this is the weird part right now, is this area, where if we look at this trading area right here, it just feels really weird. I remember trading back here and feeling so pissed off at the price action. This is garbage right here. If we're looking at this and we're going to the 30-minute, no, we can't do it. Let's do the 4-hour time frame back here. This is garbage, absolute garbage. Barts, inverted Barts all over the place. Does this look familiar to you? So the reason why I'm showing this to you is because What happened after this, though, is the price started to slowly move up in this accumulation zone. And then we had our April Fool's, well, it was late by a day, but our April Fool's pump, where in one day the price shot up like crazy. This is the biggest green candle that we had 17% in a long time. Even this one right here was 8%. Excuse me, yeah, 8.6%. And this one was 10%. So this big move was awesome. Now we could see the market structure is moving up higher, so that makes sense. So let's bring that back to where we are today. Not the same, but also not too different, right? We see weird stifled price action, but now we're starting to see price action move up a little bit. This is why I keep saying this feels a lot like 2018 or late 2018, early 2019. So if we're in the 2018 scenario, let's do that, okay? I'm going to bring everything back. If we're in the 2018 scenario, that means that this is the 6K range. That means a drop down to 20K would be our 30% drop instead of a 48% drop, which would be really, really, really drastically lower, like this, like 16K. I don't buy it. I don't expect it. I don't want to see it. It could, but I don't think it's going to happen. 30% down seems more realistic to 21K. That would be the bottom. I think that would make a whole lot of sense. So this to me would be the 6K scenario. But if this is the January, February 2019 scenario, then that means that we should see, and let me do a ghost feed projection. We should see this is really bad. That is so tight. Hold on a second. Let me do it one more time. There, and we have to have way more. Hold on a second. This still looks like garbage, but it's okay. But seeing something like this could make me feel like it's 2019, where we're seeing a nice steady uptrend, and then all we need to see is one green candle like that. And if that happens, then it's a repeat of April Fool's, which would be really weird. Again, it doesn't make sense, because I'm still expecting this drop to happen and everything else to happen. So I think there are two things at play. The first thing is that you got to watch out. You better not cry, because a Bitcoin drop might be around the corner and Santa Claus is not going to give you coal. So I still think we're dropping to 20K. But with that said, I personally have bought some BTC in this range just because of the mixed signals that I'm getting. It's weird. So even buying BTC at this range, if I don't get it at 20K, it's still a fantastic range. If you believe that our next market top in 2024 could be between $100,000 to $200,000, doesn't really make that big of a difference. So all I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with buying a little bit. If the price falls more, I'm going to buy a little bit more, a little bit more, and a little bit more as it falls further. Okay, so I've spent almost the entire time on BTC. Get carried away. The live streams for the Better Traders Clubs, the Better Traders Club live streams are way more in depth than this, and they're much more put together than this. This is me just kind of spitballing. So I want to talk a little bit about the other things that I see and things that you should pay attention to. So Ethereum is kind of dead, but the emerge for Ethereum is coming. Keep Ethereum on your sites, on your watch list. You're just going to want to watch it, because if the Ethereum merge happens in 30 days, remember, when should we bottom out? In about 30 days. So that means that Ethereum could still drop, and my personal target is down here at about $1,000 per ETH. That would be amazing to see it drop down a whole lot more, because that's a really sweet discount. So if BTC has a 30% fall, that means that it would be exaggerated down to about 35 or 36. So there we go. I think it's possible. So anyway, let me fix that. Ethereum's worth keeping an eye on. Because if the merge happens, there's going to be so much demand for Ethereum. It's going to be insane. That's personally what I feel. All right. Another chart to watch is FTT, or the FTX exchange token. It recently has broken out. It confirmed a daily close above this green trend line. I alerted my Better Traders Club members to this yesterday. So far, it's holding up okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay-ish. It doesn't seem really strong. It's not really the kind of breakout volume that we usually see. So I'm watching for a pullback probably, but it does look strong. It's one of the charts in the top 10, top 20 that are actually green right now. So now we get to these two tokens. So I had somebody ask in a comment, can you take a look at these charts? So sure, I'll look at these charts. So they asked for ZRX or 0x. So ZRX on the USD chart, or the stablecoin chart, does not look amazing at all. It looks like everything else. So let's talk about a couple of things. First off, let me bring this up. So we're in a channel, a downward facing channel. So things have been bearish ever since April. No surprise there. So we're having lower lows and lower highs. So it's bearish market structure. We're at this low point. If we fall next week or next month another 30%, charts like this would overreact. It wouldn't surprise me to see it drop 40% to 50%, which puts here, or I think 50%, sorry, 40% was where? Right there. There we go. So that would put us back into this previous range where it was before, which makes a lot of sense. It actually wicked into the previous highs back here, and it did respect the TBO support line. Incredible. So when we look at that, then I think, well, if it's already cracked this, then what's a little bit more, right? It could just keep dropping. So I'm sorry, it's not the news you want to hear. Looking at our fib lines, it's right at the 382, so it's found a line of support. That's good, but look where the next line of support is. It's at 22 cents, which is in this range. So again, this is where I think it's heading. Not the news you probably want to know, but there you go. If we look at the BTC chart, this one looks so much more promising because it's ZRX against BTC. And right now it looks like we're going to be doing a triple bottom almost. So there's one, or I guess it's a double bottom. Well, no, this would be the double bottom. This is a triple bottom. It actually hit it, but it hasn't reacted like it did in the past. No duh, because look at the date. This is our alt season back in January 2021. So the chart moved up 300%, right? So if we see Bitcoin drop and ZRX drop another 30%, it's going to drop it down a whole lot more. It's going to make a new bottom. A lot of alts will do the exact same thing. So that's my thoughts on ZRX. Not good. No bueno. Not feeling it. And that goes to say that you've got to keep an eye on Bitcoin dominance. Right now, Bitcoin dominance is almost making a new high. So its previous high back here is 47.72% in October. So we're looking where we are now, 47.78%. So it just moved above it by 0.06%. Why is this a big deal? This is a big deal because as Bitcoin dominance moves up higher, that means that more of the market cap is dominated or held, or holders, entities are holding Bitcoin over stablecoins, over Ethereum, over everything else, alts. When this moves up higher, expect BTC pairs to drop like a rock. Just saying. Okay, let me go ahead and take a look at the chat. And then we got to wrap it up. Okay, so yeah, you guys talking about the a dying nobody thread, really interesting. I highly recommend people to follow it, but don't click on the link. Never ever click links. This is letting you know where you could basically look at the contract or their Ethereum address, and this is where they're going to publish the keys to download this file that has 137 gigs. That sounds like a Trojan horse to me. I would be super cautious about opening up anything like that. But anyway, yeah. Okay, here we go. So then, yes, 20K bottom. Yes. So then should people get out of alts until after the BTC bottom and recovery? If you're in profit, I mean, I can't tell you what to do. I'll tell you that I am out of pretty much all of my altcoin positions that I can be out of. And I've closed most of them in BTC. Even if Bitcoin falls, I'm okay with that. So it's not the time to be buying alts right now. The market's just too weird. And as we see Bitcoin dominance move up, that means that we want to focus on having and holding BTC, which is going to throw so many new investors for a loop. Because how were people making the most money late 2020 and in 2021? They're making money off of altcoins, doing these crazy 4, 5, 1,000% moves, not 4%, like 400, 500, or 1,000% moves. Okay, so be really reserved and cautious about altcoins until we see Bitcoin dominance start to cool off. Then it's a good signal that alts could fly next. Okay. Hello, Daniel Silva, MPI student. Can I please look at a couple of these charts? Good, so I'll just look at these three and then we got to call it. All right, so FIDA. I wonder what that is. Ooh! Is there a reason you want me to look at FIDA, Sunil? I hope you're not a holder. I hope you're just trading a chart like this. So if you were an AB trader, this chart would be manageable, mainly because of all of the big little pumps it's having. Big little. I mean, that's a 16% pump. The only thing about charts like this is that when it's on an obvious downtrend, and it does not take a rocket scientist to see that it's trending down. You don't even need the TBO to see that, but the TBO does help. Oops, I just put 2 dots on. The TBO does help to show the trend strength, and it's still super strong. When we see the fast line, medium fast, medium slow, and the slow line all pointing in one direction, that means the trend is strong, whether it's bullish or bearish. Don't be a holder for this. I don't know what they have cooking. I don't know if you know that there's something good that's happening, but I'll tell you that if you think that this is the bottom, then everyone else that thought this was the bottom was wrong. And this was the bottom. Oh wait, no. Okay, now it's finding support. This is the bottom. No, this. Be careful. All right, Sol, BTC. Yeah, Solana has been taking a beating. So again, same concept, same story. There's nothing really holding Solana up. It's been having too many outages. There's support here on the TBO, 46% down at what? That would be 70,000 Satoshis, 0.0007. So that also lines up here with this fib line. So I'll buy that for $1. I think that's right. So yeah, not looking good. Just like the rest of the altcoin market. And metal, guess what? It's probably gonna be the same. Although I do like some metal. Cool. So metal is the only one to me that looks reasonable. So this one would probably look even better on the BTC chart, because if Bitcoin's dragging but metal is pumping, then it's going to be a good chart for trading. Yeah, that looks like a whole lot of fun for trading. So if we're thinking about what's happening next, this is what I've said before in so many other videos and in live streams. There will always be outliers. Like TRX Tron has been doing relatively well. It's been holding up ever since Bitcoin's been falling. There are always going to be outliers. So this might be the outlier to pay attention to, because so far, I mean, this one looks amazing. We had our dip, but it's recovered. It's not back up here, but I mean, it's shot up 95% from the bottom on May 13th. So that's pretty impressive. And even still, like, it's just doing a fantastic job. So when we talk about the TBO and the trend on the daily time frame, we have an open long. It's super overbought right now. It's RSI is at 85 on the daily time frame. That's a little bit scary. It's also super extended above the fast line and even the TBO cloud. One thing that's not good on the daily time frame is that the cloud is basically flat. We have the TBO fast, medium fast pointing up, medium slows down. This is sideways, mixed bag. So it would make more sense for this to come down before moving up higher, unless on the 4-hour time frame, we're going to see a combination of all these TBO breakouts. So on faster time frames like the 4-hour, this looks amazing, but the 4-hour is a lot faster than the 24-hour time frame. So we've seen this happen before where we have these breakouts and then it comes down, breakouts and even breakouts at the top. So we want to be careful. But right now, it's actually looking okay-ish, surprisingly so. But be careful because of everything that I've said so far. Last question from Zohair. Mr. Khan-san, I'll just say that, Khan-san. So am I still running my DeFi bot? Nope, I am not running bots right now for a couple of reasons. Mainly because of market instability and the big question mark about Friday's Fed meeting, but also because of metrics that I'm looking at for the Better Traders Club, like the stop loss hunting alert, the TBT forecaster, stuff like that. So no, not now. After we capitulate though, after we bottom out, then yeah, turn everything on, full blast, let it go, because that's going to be a great time to make some profits after the market has been so depressed and crushed. That's the time to buy. We're not there yet. We're really close, in my opinion, but we're not there yet. So that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for a lot of this stuff. Okay. So great. Yeah, we're going to call it good. Awesome. So thanks again for hanging out with me today. You know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.